It is Jakobs time again. And Nisha, being the cowgirl she is, starts with Jakobs gear. I won't be using the Smasher though. I mentioned coming around to sniper rifles because of BL1, which translated wonderfully into BL2/TPS. Historically, I've never appreciated them and criticized how much they zoom in a faster paced game like Borderlands. Skill issue. I still don't think the amount of zoom on a lot of scopes is necessary, but the issue was how I was using them. Anyway, let's talk very briefly about sights. For Jakobs pistols, if it's not a scope, I don't like it. Because of how Jakobs pistols are, it's hard to remain on target without a scope. Accurate follow-up shots become difficult for me. Flame Knuckle Dragger time. I always have trouble hitting his front crit spot, but the damage is pretty good as I expected. And once the power suit is dead, the damage just gets better. Showdown is epic. Getting more into the run, we need an Oz kit. Jakobs doesn't make any. Luckily, I allow non-competitor gear, meaning anything that's not a gun made by a company that doesn't make guns. Anshin or Pangolin, basically. And Anshin just so happens to make one of my favorite Oz kits for survivability. Enemies drop Oz canisters like pennies. Still the same starting sniper, still super satisfying to pop heads with it. Unfortunately, I hadn't found a shield yet, Anshin or Pangolin, so going into the deadlift fight, I was quite nervous. It turns out I really shouldn't have been. Jakobs has bonus crit damage to make up for lack of elements. But in the early game, that bonus crit is just a bonus because element matching isn't as important yet. More importantly, I got lucky. He didn't beat me to death the second he saw me, and he decided to run away. All that meant this was the easiest NVHM deadlift I've had yet. Class mods. I have more to say later, but the only thing they'll be giving me is gun damage for reasons. Once I actually find one, that is. I still haven't found a shield either at this point of the game. Pangolin doesn't unlock until level 8-ish. Took a hot minute to find better guns than Nisha's starting gear too, not that it mattered too much. We got there eventually though. I like no sight over non-scope sight. Speeding along now. First real threat, these nerds. Unfortunately my IQ is about the same as my level, so anyway, it wasn't too bad to deal with him. I've had worse. But I've had much better too. Crit bonus on frozen enemy. Well, 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 luck favors me. Red Belly has a fire laser more often than not, instead of the minions. Combine that with the classic slam lock and phase 1 is done. Red Belly is the easier of the two and is taken down quickly with crit spam from Showdown. Jakobs excels at this. Red is normally harder, but with my level up bonus he wasn't. And now we can get my favorite freezing tool. Normally ours aren't interesting by the by, they fill the same role as pistols for me. Here we go, 2 scoops. Really fucking good freezer. Oh hey, a class mod.
Really?
I've established the run at this point. Mobbing certainly wasn't an issue for the most part. I'll go in depth on some guns later. Oh, this is the best freezing tool because the projectiles have an ice aura that freezes and leaves a lingering freezer cloud. It's not very good as an actual gun, but it freezes things very consistently. Okay, now we bite Foss. I was still trying out the 2 scoops. Not great, as you can see. That's not what caused my death though. Bosun having shock and fire caused that. Luckily the shield generators don't respawn, so after taking him out, Bosun wasn't an issue. I probably could have killed him without taking out the shield things, force of habit. Gatling guns are good. I should mention blue and purple guns are a lot harder to come by with Jakobs than other brands. Probably just a luck issue. The Cyber Eagle got outclassed pretty quick, despite how fun it is to use. And Felicity kinda just stood there, so that's nice. Gatling guns are the only ARs I like using because, like I said earlier, normal ARs kind of fill the same role as pistols. And the per shot damage on these is very, very good. Making this a super easy Felicity fight. Yay! Moonface. Yay! I'm underleveled. Being underleveled isn't too big of a deal though, thanks to this lovely Gatling gun. I am a little squishy, but that's fine. Doing a little XP farming because I want to use the Moonface, and I finally have an actual shotgun I can use. A normal one. Yeah, it took me until level 21 to find a normal Jakobs shotgun, which I know is a fact to be a flare-up of bad luck. Regardless, it's amazing. And it's not even a super high damage roll. Also, look at this reload speed. So slow for a Jakobs shotty. It's because of the torque grip, though. Phase 1 down, no deaths. Phase 2 is the hard part, though. Well, 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 hello there, beautiful. We'll talk about you later. Now, Zarp herself is offered the harder part of this fight. Luckily, Gatling gun. And sniper rifle. Once again, I'm underleveled. It isn't too big a deal. Oh, Eternals are really annoying. Luckily, Jakobs deals damage. More on these guys later, though. RK5 time. I have a nasty habit of coming into this fight super underleveled and getting salty when I die a lot. So that's exactly what I did. First attempt was really good too. I was quite perturbed by this outcome. The only reason this fight is as hard as it is because Bottled Courage is the only survivability skill I have at this point. And a lot of RK5 damage is shock. I level up specifically in these runs for extra challenge, don't know why. But yeah, shield good isn't good for RK5 fight. Did finally get him though. The Boomocorn. An interesting weapon to be sure, extremely strong, especially considering how easy it is to get one, but the strength is inconsistent, the usage odd, shooting around the enemy's feet instead of directly at them. The single shot reload, the self-damage it can inflict, the inconsistency, the noise, literally doesn't matter. This thing is by far the most effective mobbing weapon I've used, personally. It's stupid how easy this thing clears grounded nerds. If they're flying it sucks, but whatever. I'm talking about it now because I didn't use it later on. Too cheesy, got boring. I didn't want to start off the final boss with the Boomicorn. Most of my weapons are a little underleveled, so this wasn't easy. My thoughts on Jakobs thus far? No surprises, this was great. I already knew I liked Jakobs quite a lot, and this reinforced that. Having very good damage, generally speaking, very satisfying pistols and shotguns, variety within shotguns and ARs, having a crit bonus to make up for lack of elements, having a freezing tool being swaggy as fuck, and having generally more recoil than any other manufacturer and being semi-automatic to balance all of those bonuses. Jakobs remains my favorite arms manufacturer right alongside TDR, except I like Jakobs more. Anyway, I died a whole bunch. My first attempt was pretty good, but then I just kept dying. So I pulled out the Boomicorn crutch. Using this on a boss like the Sentinel really showcases the inconsistency of its damage output. Big chunk, smaller chunk. But they're both chunks, so it's all good. And oh dear viewers, look at what happens to this poor fellow when he reaches his final phase. Boomicorn is really funny. I kinda want to do a challenge run where I only use the Boomicorn. Oh thank heavens, I finally have another survivability skill. Sentinel 2 isn't nearly as tricky as Sentinel 1 is, just kinda shoot him in the face part. Second wins are a lot easier to get here too. Well, that was NVHM doing a Jakobs Allegiance, so you can leave now if that's all you wanted to see. I gave my overview. I'll be giving another overview at the very end and going into a little more detail about specific weapons and comms after TVHM. Now, normally for TVHM, I'd skip to the final boss because it's all the same stuff you just saw, but Red Belly put up a big fight. Having a fire immune shield the first time I fought them was just so good, but struggling here taught me a lot. Slam lock, only use showdown to get shields back, aim for the legs and the little rocket thingy on Belly's back. Hopefully following those rules will give you enough time for the minions to come out for a second wind if you need one. That also let me do enough damage for them to split, and they stay split on death, so you've made permanent progress, which I was happy to take advantage of. How, you might ask? Well, Belly can't enter this corridor, and fire has been my biggest issue since I'm 4 levels under them, but I can get rid of that by hopping outside for a secco. From there I just peeked and popped until he was dead. Red is easy to deal with after Belly's dead. He likes getting stuck in the walls near the entrance. That's the only difference between TVHM and NVHM. Red Belly was a little harder because he didn't have a fireproof shield. And now we cut to the final boss. Yay, TVHM is so fun and exciting. Time to completely legally grind to max level in UVHM. Exquisite. Now about my build. I'm locked to this build as part of the challenge, so if you think it could have optimized more, correct. This is something that you need to keep in mind. This is not Jakobs at their peak. Keep that in mind. It's important for later. This of course means that Jakobs comms, which give more specialized skill bonuses, haven't been helping at all. Other than the good gun damage. Oh, I also realized here that Raring to Go is the better skill to use for allegiances. I had been using No Pain No Gain until now, but Raring to Go gives 10% more gun damage along with some reload speed. The starting enemies are quite weak, meaning I can scrape by with this level whatever pistol until I get something on level, which I will get by completing the Protect Jack objective and farming this here chest. Also, I think there's weird stuff with the Moonface and Tombstone. Tombstone is generally a weird skill with how much stuff procs it, but the Moonface has 2 instances of damage, gun and grenade, so I think both have a chance to proc Tombstone, which is funny. I think this because when I'm using the Moonface I see a lot more procs than I do even using a quad. Not 100% sure though. Anyway, this pistol is fantastic. Extra crit from the Hyperion barrel. More than good enough to carry me through the start of UVHM so I can grab all the Jakobs weapons. Yes, all of them. Which I will be skipping for the sake of brevity, but I killed Iwajira because I needed grinder food and purple Jakobs. Now look at this here damage. This is pretty okay stuff, but it's not even close to the max potential of this brand of firearm. I kill him faster when I have more gear, but I forgot to record. The reason I'm skipping all the bosses in the gearing phase of this run is because of this mission. Unlocks after Sentinel. No clue why, he's right there. Sentinel? The sunk cost fallacy is strong, so I ended up read-only farming it. Took a while to farm this, and it wasn't even perfect. I settled for it. Also, it's worse than the Hammerbuster, even with the crit bonus. Now we need to do DLC. Look at this funny Dox quad I got. For those who don't know, Dox's crit bonus, 72% on this quad. And quad means 18 chances to proc Tombstone per shot. In short, the Striker's useless because of this thing. I can't get across how much I love Nisha's quads. I mean quads on Nisha. One-shotting these enemies this hard is super satisfying, and it's not even the most satisfying thing in this run. An upside to Jakobs, no elements means these guys can't screw me over. Big damage. How does that compare to the Boomicorn, you ask? It doesn't. Boomicorn is the same here as it was earlier, except 3 shots now. Funny. Yes, one of the weapons I need from this DLC is the Flare, which drops from viruses. Now, I could sit here for 30 hours farming it, but I could also not, so I won't. I'm going to give it in after I kill Eos. I have rules for cheating stuff in. If farming it from its source is too annoying, it gets cheated in. Sue me. Anyway, bosses. I'm only going to do this DLC once, so we'll go over them in detail. I figured Cyber Eagle would be good here because of shock, and it wasn't bad at all. No kill skills means little damage though, and the little tentacles aren't weak to shock, so that wasn't ideal. So I did a little die. Came back with the Maggie, and it was much better. Maggie is really good. And once I was finally able to get a kill skill, boy did this thing really get going. Oh, also, Skullmasher fucks really hard. really hard. Nisha really doesn't have much without kill skills. Luckily most bosses have access to them one way or another. 4-minute, 6-second fight. A little long, but not too hard. Skipping right along to Shadow Trap. Open self-esteem are easy as pie to get rid of, and the big bot himself can be slam locked, so not bad in the slightest. Cyber Eagle is also really good here since it had access to a lot of kill skills and good crits. Tombstone can only carry so much. The shield was the easy part though. His health bar is tankier. Luckily, quad. 3-minute, 40-second Shadow Trap fight. The Eclipse fight was 8 minutes. These are very quick kills for me, and like I said earlier, not the best Jakobs can even be on Nisha. It's not common at all for me to be able to visibly see his health bar chunk down with each shot, because I'm not built for speed kills. Oh, and the Cyber Eagle shined here since it can hit crits from long distances super consistently, and it's shock. I've always really liked the Cyber Eagle, and taking it into UVHM for the first time solidified that love for me. Not much else to say, this fight isn't interesting to see, it's just a lot of shooting. EOS is a little more interesting, but it's another case of shot at until dead. Oh, there's the Unforgiven doing its thing. Anyway, he's there, he's got that big eye whatevers. 3 minutes, 8 seconds. The mobbing sections between phases can sometimes be worrisome, because I can go down as he despawns revives. But mobbing ain't a big issue with Jakobs guns. Maybe you consider the Unforgiven a little cheesy for EOS. Maybe weird habit with my restrictions on skills that alter the function of weapons. Shut up, it's swaggy. Oh my goodness, this here quad caused a slight mess when I saw it, but I wanted to read-only farm H source. Unfortunately, I messed up that farm. I still don't know how to do it. So I never saw that quad again. Maybe I have to properly read-only instead of using quit without saving on map reloader. Anyway, since I finished the DLC, I'm allowed to collect whatever annoying farm gear I want. That luck cannon is a legit find by the by, but I did change its sight to bandit. Oh, I like you. Now let's talk about some specific guns, starting with the luck cannon. This is one of those guns kinda built for Nisha. It's normally one-shot reload, but Nisha makes it 4. And it wants to be used at long range. Not saying only Nisha can use it, but it feels made for her. But, is it good? Well, this one specifically has 40k damage even without activating its special effect for even more, so yeah, it's pretty good. But when a special effect is proccing for 30% extra damage, it is the most satisfying thing ever, and one-taps are really nice. To give evidence that the level of zoom on certain sights isn't necessary, here's a bandit-sighted pistol sniping across the map. Bandit sights are the lowest zoom you can get on any gun aside from no sight at all, and it snipes just fine. Now let's talk Cyber Eagle. My favorite FPS is Ion Fury, and the lack of any recoil on this reminds me of the Loverboy from that. Being able to lock the crosshair on heads and spam click is one of the most satisfying things ever. Plus shock, so good. The only thing I don't like about it is how it's locked to Jakobs' sight. Its damage is mostly fine, it falls off against badasses though. I'm not going super in depth on any of these because I plan on beating the game with everything eventually, but Cyber Eagle, very good. It falls off so hard against tankier enemies that I had to swap to the Flare to deal with Felicity, but we'll talk about this later. Spoiler alert, the Flare is quite good. Remember that pistol from the start of UVHM? Still really good. That Krokotos from Hyperion Barrel is very useful. And it could be far, far better if I was able to build around Jakobs more. Reminder that I'm technically running a challenge build, but this thing has a slightly higher base damage than the Eagle and more crit because of the barrel, so it's good. I died a bunch in round 3, so I got to use a variety of weapons during it, and against Eternals to boot. Unfortunately, cannons aren't the best, but I think they might have the same interaction with the Tombstone the Moonface does. And of course, the damage against frozen enemies is quite good because of the explosive damage buff against them. Let's try again now that I have kill skills up. Never mind then. Consuming 2 ammo per shot makes this thing not very ammo efficient, especially in comparison to the Hammer Buster 2. But this is a mid-blue rarity roll. I'll have to use it as a good purple roll to compare it against the HB2. Still, it's pretty good against squishy fellows, and like I mentioned earlier, I think it interacts strangely with Tombstone. Even with kill skills, it falls off pretty hard against Eternals. The Razorback, which I've completely forgot to mention because I missed it in NVHM and forgot to record it in TVHM, is good. But its best use isn't here against these enemies. It shines against scavs and squishies. Eternals are above its weight. Turn 1 to 2 tap squishies just fine. With a higher damage roll and a bit more building around it, it'd be great. Now let's talk Hammer Buster 2. It plays the exact same as the Wallop with more damage, so I won't be showing the Wallop. On crits, the damage between the two is pretty comparable with the HB coming out on top, but the Wallop is easier to get. And since the HB can get crits without Tombstone, it can deal with Eternals a lot easier than the cannon can. With kill skills and crit spam, freezing him isn't even necessary. It sure does make it a lot easier and safer though. And obviously, it's fantastic on squishies just because of its raw damage. She's a solid dependable firearm with no silly gimmicks, perhaps even a little boring, but I enjoy it. Moonface, I touched on it earlier, but how's it at endgame? It's very fun, but the gimmick doesn't add much. I mentioned its weird interaction with Tombstone, but at the end of the day I'm barrel stuffing and spamming clicks. Fun, but a bit of a waste of its gimmick. I wish it was a shotgun version of the Hail. Oh well, it's still pretty good. What else? Maggie? We all know Maggie, we know she's good. Don't need to say anything else there. Tears Up Eternal is nice. Multiple projectiles is good synergy with Tombstone, so I get nice procs with that. Yeah. I thought this round gave a Celestial com, but I was wrong. So I just smurfed one from another character. The amount of survivability I got from that com, along with some actual skill bonuses, was invaluable. Anyway, Striker. The Striker is pretty okay. It's Just a shotgun really with a crit prefix as standard, so that's nice. Especially nice when I get Tombstone going. It might seem unfair to other manufacturers, but Unchained isn't doing anything. Anyway, in terms of base damage, this thing is slightly less than a purple long rider I have, so it's not really that unique. The base crit bonus is all it has really. Its damage is just okay. But remember, crit prefix can roll on a quad, which makes quads better strikers. And funny strong too, but a Doc's quad is a rare thing. I got lucky finding this one. The Skull Masher is everything I wanted BL1s to be and more. It's very fun, hits really hard, and is a mid-range option for rifles. And of course it has synergy with Tombstone because of multiple projectiles. Oh, by the way, if you think I'm using Showdown too much, blame the class mods, not me. I use it as much as comms let me. And the Celestial Lawbringer just so happens to let you use Showdown a lot, and to stay in it longer, which is very nice, I enjoy. Skull Masher good, but the Flare is better. If you need to spam all your shotgun ammo in a crowd like a certain MW2 mission, look no further than this beast. Slight disclaimer though, because getting one of these is annoying, I did cheat this one in, so it's perfect. But that doesn't make as big of a difference as people think, so any given flare will still shred a lot of enemies. Until you run out of ammo, that is. Which is highly likely since it shoots 3 times as a baseline, and I get 2 extra shots as Nisha. Well, that's about all I wanted to talk about or show in terms of uniques. Oh yeah, Gargons are a thing. Spooky. Yeah, the flare is pretty good. And look what this fella dropped. The entire reason I'm doing the Holodome in the first place. Plunket. The Plunket is a sniper rifle, but when you crit you consume ammo for your backpack instead of your magazine. And it's the last unique Jakobs item I needed, which means we can do our final story run now. Plunket works, but it's just a sniper. I didn't use the best gear for each boss, I used a variety, and even without using the best guns I could, this was a 47-second fight. Most of that was this power suit, and with kill skills it would have been considerably shorter. Some kill skills did spawn right before he left his power suit, and his life ended shortly afterward. Around a 57-second fight against Deadlift. Again, not using optimal gear, I just used stuff I liked. Most of his health was from his shields, and after I whittled that down with Cyber Eagle, the Moonface mooned him in the face. Luckily I had some kill skills around here too. Red Belly can always be a bit rough for me, so I wasn't surprised at all that I died here. The only solution to this issue was to focus, get them split ASAP, which will make it easy-ish to kill them and get second wins. I'm using the Striker here because it's Belly's drop and I wanted to kill bosses with their drops, for funsies. And the Striker did okay, mostly because of the crit bonus on frozen enemies. Thanks, 2 scoops. Dead on 2-minute fight. Very cool. For Bosun I used Maggie to get rid of the shield generators. And once they were gone, well... that was the most satisfying thing to ever happen to me in a video game. Bosun is another tough fight, usually. Oh, now a shop has a Lawbringer. Thanks. Whatever. Felicity is tanky and doesn't like to let me crit her, so this fight was 3 minutes 11 seconds. Nothing interesting to see. I just shotgun until she died. The high base damage on the HP 2 made it a solid choice for this fight. Figured I'd use non-uniques for Zarp. Phase 1 was 48 seconds. Real nice pistol I found. 2 projectile prefix means big damages. And of course, we have the quad I already talked about. Surprise, surprise, it's also pretty good against bosses. And as long as I had kill skills up, I was doing good damage on Zarp. 63-second fight. Didn't die once, which is rare. In hindsight, I should have used the Cyber Eagle. Oh well. 3 minutes, 37 seconds against RK5. First try 2 thanks entirely to Showdown Lifesteal from the Celestial Lawbringer. Used the Maggie and Skull Masher combo here. Figured now would be the best time. And if anyone could tell me what this big chunk of damage was, I'd be very appreciative. Easy RK5. A rarity from you, this boss is often a struggle. Cyber Eagle was useful again during Sentinel, 3 minutes 40 seconds for the small one. After Shield 1 we have kill skills, which makes it even better. And the Flare was able to make quick work of his actual health bar once I got down to it. Now did my opinion of Jakobs change from NVHM to now? No. I still absolutely love the heck out of him. In fact, after using all the weapons of theirs, I grew to enjoy them even more, because almost all of the uniques were interesting. There are some that I barely talked about, and I didn't lend as much love to Gatling guns as I should have, but there's time for specific weapon showcases later. As a general overview, Jakobs has been amazing. They maintain such a unique feel compared to the competition despite their shortcomings. What shortcomings, you may ask? Well, I've broken a mess or two in my time clicking so much while using Jakobs weapons, so be careful of that. The recoil is super high, especially on most ARs and sniper rifles. You don't get element matching for most guns either. For TPS specifically, elements aren't as important, so that wasn't an issue. For shotguns, the ammo pool can go by really quick. Even if element matching was more important, the extra crit damage on Jakobs guns makes up for that. You're probably going to be reloading often no matter what weapon you're using, so you'll want reload speed to increase DPS. That's a good few flaws, but Jakobs more than makes up for it with style and power. Yeah, that's about it. I love Jakobs, my favorite manufacturer so far. Big Sentinel was 1 minute 11 seconds and I died once. Bye.